Hello. Today I'll be talking about technology in the classroom. I have limited experience with assistive technology, never having taught. Um, I have, however, used a timer app during my brief time as an ABA therapist. I used a timer to help my kiddos with transitioning, mostly with activities that involved group play or individual playtime, usually an activity that they really enjoyed. The child could see the amount of time that they had left, which made transitioning to the next activity much easier. Um, it was incredibly beneficial for both me and the kiddo that I was doing therapy with. My experience and knowledge with teaching English are also pretty limited. In the fifth grade, I participated in a school tutoring program where I was able to help younger students with reading and writing activities. In high school, I was awarded the English Award all 4 years, meaning that I showed the most improvement in English um, every year in high school. I have obtained my associate's degree from TVCC Community College. I started my own business where I offer editing services and resume building to people. Right now, mostly my friends have asked for services. And as far as leadership goes, I have been a youth leader at my church, working with students from grades 7 through 12. I am also currently a Sunday school teacher for the high school group at my church. My hobbies are pretty limited, but within themselves, they're pretty vast. I enjoy reading, mostly fiction like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, that kind of thing. I also enjoy playing video games and binge watching Netflix. But who doesn't watch Netflix a lot these days? I like Buffy, Friends, Gilmore Girls, pretty much everything. Of course, I do have two very small kids, age 1 and age 3, so I don't get a lot of time to indulge myself in my hobbies, but I do enjoy these things when I get the time. Moving on to technology in the classroom, I believe that when applied to the classroom, technology can be the greatest tool that a teacher has access to. It should always help to create an engaging learning environment. Keep your students interested and focused on the task at hand. Um, Technology should also be inclusive. It can be used to help students who need assistive technology, like hearing devices or the timers like I used as a therapist. Some students may need the timers to help them transition out of writing assignments or reading assignments. Sometimes it helps to know how much time you have left. Um, Technology should only be used in the classroom if it's beneficial. You should always ask yourself, is this technology going to help me in a positive way, or is it going to be a distraction in my class? Um, if the technology is too difficult for either the teacher or the students, it obviously should not be used. That'll just create frustration and possibly set the students up for failure. And it will take up too much of your precious class time if you're struggling to understand the technology. So keep it simple. Find something that is relatively simple to use in your class. Technology, as I've already stated, it can be a teacher's biggest asset. It can allow teachers to relay information to their students in the most effective possible way. This could mean that you use YouTube videos to supplement a lesson or to really drive home the concept that you're trying to teach. You can even use games to make sure that the students are really understanding the material. Drill programs are also beneficial in this area. Technology also makes information accessible to the students outside of class, like ebooks or Kindles. If they have access to that kind of technology at home, then it's incredibly beneficial to your class. They also have access to other educational programs or educational websites outside of the classroom, and it could help them to better understand the material. Since we are living in the 21st century, most students are already pretty familiar with technology and how to use it. Almost every student you come across, especially in the secondary school setting, will have a cell phone or have easy access to the internet. Not in all cases, but in most cases. So using something that students are already familiar with in the classroom can help to keep them engaged. And technology can allow students to get creative with assignments, like we have the opportunity to do with this PowerPoint presentation. The learning theory that I found enjoyable to learn more about is the information processing theory. The idea behind this theory is that the mind works like a computer where information is learned, developed, stored, and recalled. Students can learn a literary concept or a rule or theory in grammar, and then once the concept is introduced, students use their working memory to complete assignments that help develop their knowledge of the concept. This helps enable students to recall the information and then use it when reading or writing. For example, you could teach the idea of foreshadowing. You could find examples of foreshadowing in other literary texts and show it to the students and do activities based on foreshadowing. And then when they read the assigned text or literature, they can find the foreshadowing on their own. Learning about directed instruction and inquiry-based learning has been a pretty interesting experience. Directed instruction is based more on the styles of lectures and highly structured learning environments. That those drill programs that I mentioned earlier are pretty good for directed instruction. Inquiry-based learning focuses more on learning through experiences, such as problem solving and student communication, group projects, that kind of thing. I believe that finding a way to combine both of these theories is the most beneficial way for students to learn. You don't want everything to be based on lecture, but you also want to provide some lecture time. And you want students to be able to grow concepts and ideas kind of on their own. I especially like scaffolding theory, where they just kind of keep building on things that they already know. Technology can definitely change the culture of our schools. Integrating technology into our schools is very important, but it should be done with care. When properly integrated, technology can help a school to grow, and the school becomes a positive learning environment for both the students and the teachers. Proper integration, however, takes time, and the available resources must be considered. If you don't have a certain kind of technology, don't try to implement it. When integration is rushed through or resources are severely limited, it can impact the school in a negative way. It can cause both students and teachers to become frustrated or set them up for failure, which you definitely do not want to do. Technology can improve student reflection, collaboration skills, and sense of community. In student reflection, technology can allow students to easily go back and revisit their past assignments. They can see things that they may need to work on more, letting them learn from their previous work. Technology also allows students to work on their collaboration skills by making student interaction much easier. They can comment on each other's posts if they're posting things online, or they can easily work together on a group project without having to work around schedules and trying to get to each other's houses. Finally, technology improves a sense of community in that it allows all students to participate. When you're working online, it's a lot easier for some students who may be shy or unwilling to speak up in class to participate comfortably, which you definitely want all students to participate. In my own class, technology could be beneficial to me in a myriad of ways. Blogs would allow students to work on their creative writing skills. Having access to literature online would also be beneficial because it would allow students to explore the text more easily. Programs such as Prezi and PowerPoint can be used to make lectures more engaging for the students. And finally, I could use social media to help students connect to the material, help them connect with educational websites, and help them connect with both myself and other students. And these are my references. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my presentation about my views of technology in the classroom and specifically in an English classroom.